If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Thank you all for attending this evening, our special meeting. We will move forward next with public hearings. Carrie?
Thank you. So I just wanted to say a few words in regards to the budget, and I'm hoping that the community will listen to what I have to say. I stand before you today feeling great heartache, disappointment, and frustration. My personal journey here at Erving Elementary School began in 2014. I was excited for the opportunity to work at the school where everybody wanted to work. Strong academics, strong traditions, and most of all, a strong community. This is what made Erving Elementary School stand out, not only to me, but to everybody. We all wanted one thing, the accessibility to a strong community for our children. We all wanted to be role models, provide the children the best education that we could offer, and come together as a community to celebrate this special place. Watching endless school committee meetings, I am appalled what this has become. We no longer want what is best for our children, nor can we give what is best to our children when funding, programs, and teacher staffings are being cut. We cannot function, and we are not successful for the children within our school if you choose to take this from us. We are overworked, we are short-staffed, and quite honestly, we are burnt out. We work endless hours, attend numerous trainings, and still can't manage to be our most successful selves because we don't have any help or room to budge. Cutting a teacher or teachers will increase the caseload of other teachers, staffs, and paraprofessionals. I'm not sure when the last time was that you had stepped foot into this school, but we have no room to increase an individual caseload. If we take a moment to reflect, it wasn't all that long ago when your own children, for some of you, were in this school. Times may have been a little different, but the needs were similar. In fact, our needs are even more due to the pandemic. Would you neglect the needs of your child or your children? And would you fight and advocate for them? I can honestly say that you would, because that is the right thing to do. We, the staff here at Erving Elementary School, are still proud professionals. We, the staff here at Erving Elementary School, want what is best for the children within this community. And like you said, we are running a business. However, this business cannot operate on greed, nor can this business operate on bare bones. And asking to freeze jobs when we don't have enough staff is very selfish. If asking to delete job postings and find staff to pay less to operate this building is your wish, then the children within this school building are going to be affected more than ever. Please find it in your heart to treat these children like your own, as we here at Erving Elementary School do on a daily basis. Please find it within yourself to make decisions based on the needs of the children. And please find it within yourself to operate this committee with kindness as we ask the children to do on a daily basis. These kids have a lot taken away from them in the last couple years. We must find within our strong community to stop taking away from them when so much has been taken away already. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
I have one person sign up. I just want to say these decisions are not easy, and we appreciate your feedback and your thoughts. So thank you for speaking up. Does anybody else have anything that they want to say before we move forward? Okay. So old business, we need to take a look at the amended budget and have our final adoption of the budget. I believe that our most recent presented budget, Caitlin, is with the $65,000 in circuit breaker funds added to here, right? And with all the other.
So the one that you received yesterday?
Yes.
Yes, so that does have the change in the $65,000 circuit breaker revenue, so adjustments to
any questions on the budget?
I don't.
Go ahead. Thank you, sorry.
Oh, I thought there was something going on down there.
Nope, nope.
Just line 39, it's just, I'm just curious what the increase was for.
Oh. The increase
From 271, 183 to 271, 337, was that?
So there were some changes based on what the newer idea of what the contract might be, and that shifted in both directions. So what we did to make sure that we were having the most accurate portrayal of what payroll will look like next year is since the agreement has been available, although not voted on, it gave us a better idea. So every single person on payroll, we looked at what that adjustment would be. And sometimes it went up and sometimes it went down.
Thank you for that explanation. Any other questions on the other line items?
I just have
Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
It's not necessarily on a dollar amount, but it's on a way something is classified. I'm just, so, I don't know whether that's a you question or a Jen question. I'm wondering why certain lines have their own, like, for instance, a library teacher has their own line, and the psychologist has their own line, but the IT person doesn't have their own line. They're lumped in with other, I think they're lumped in with the specialist or something.
That's reporting for the end of year report.
Yeah, so that's how all of our budgets are, and I've seen in other budgets in other districts. It all has to do with the reporting for the end of year report, that it breaks it out by that.
So even though they're not really like a teacher, they're lumped in with the teacher budget line?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like, for, my understanding is like, again, for instance, the IT person isn't, their whole function isn't to be a teacher, right? But they're in with the specialist, like the gym teacher and the art teacher and the music teacher. But that's not their whole function, so I'm just wondering why it is they're categorized in there.
They're categorized under professional staff.
Okay. And then the psychologist and the librarian aren't because they
The
get,
end of year report for the state.
and they're reported differently?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
If anybody doesn't have any other further questions, does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the new budget for Erving Elementary School, April 4th, 2023.
Can you give the amount,
What-
please? Thank you. Line 108, correct, Caitlin?
Yes.
3 million, is it $3,726,500?
No, the bottom line.
Well, are you accepting the entire gross budget, the total use of funding, or are you just the town appropriations, or?
We want to, yes, we want to have the total that, we want to include the circuit breaker in there.
Okay, included, okay.
I'll make a motion, she gives us the proper number, please.
So you want to know the amount, the total gross use of spending just without the circuit breaker or without the circuit breaker and the other grants?
I just wanted to, yeah, I want to know, I want us to be able to, I think that's our goal tonight, is to go ahead and vote in total amount with all grants, yes.
It's all grants, okay.
Correct. Yep. All of our revenues.
With all the revenues taken out of it? Or with,
Yes. So what the net amount, so that we have to go,
The net
what
amount.
we're asking for the town for
Yes.
would be line 108, the 5 million, sorry, the 3,500,000.
533, 478.
yeah.
478.
Yep, yes.
Well, the amount appropriated by the town.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're gonna finish with your motion, Eric?
So 3,580,000, no. 3,540,000,
533.
I have 540. 540,
I have
Yeah,
533.
okay. This one I got yesterday.
Line
108.
I would go back probably to the budget summary because
The line 108. May not include the circuit breaker. Because circuit breaker was added in after. So I would go to the budget summary, the second page.
Can you give us the number there?
Yes. $3,540,977.86.
Why would it be more?
Yeah, I'm confused.
I don't know on my
And I don't see the either.
Yeah. No.
Where are you referring to, Caitlin?
Second page, the budget summary.
Yep.
Everything else are the presentation pages of the breakdowns of everything. But the budget summary is the cleanest glimpse of
The
everything.
total use of funding?
So the, no, I was looking at the amount remaining for town appropriations line.
Oh, okay, there we go, there we go, okay. Right here. Okay. So the town, first, so this is what we're requesting from the town, and that includes the reduction for the circuit breaker, correct? Okay.
Why would that be more than this?
Go ahead and
Okay. Why, so why is the amount that you're referring to more than line 108, which says net total elementary budget?
I'm not sure, the edited values for the bottom of the presentation page, that gross total elementary grants and net total elementary, may have not been updated. What I focused on was the second page, that summary sheet, that's the one that is our budget.
I love it.
I don't know what the difference is. It's not a lot, but it's still something. But the update should be lower, if anything, than, but it's not, it's higher, so I'm still confused.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure, because I didn't update the presentation page on those lines. I must not have, I apologize for that. But the budget summary page is where it was updated.
Yes, Christine.
I'm sorry, I might be completely out of line, but I just have a question. Why can't the school committee not make a reduction and bring it to town meeting for a vote for the taxpayers to vote if they want to have this big budget or not? Like, am I wrong? Like, why do we have to do the $200,000 cut just because the town said to? Why can't it be brought to public forum and have the taxpayers vote on that?
It's our
Is that not how that works?
No, I mean, it's our fiscal responsibility, so this is how we have decided as a committee. You absolutely have a voice at town meeting, and you can bring that up.
I didn't know how that works.
So if you brought it up at town meeting, I think this is how it works. If you brought it up at town meeting, then they couldn't vote for the budget. They'd have to go for a 2.5 override. And the state may kick it back. So there's a lot of
Back and forth.
back and forth, so, unless the highway department says we're gonna close, you know,
I know, I just didn't know if it was able to be brought to the town, you know.
You can ask it, you can ask at
taxpayers,
the town
I
meeting.
feel like, you know,
Yeah.
they want their taxes raised, they
Yeah.
raise their taxes to fund it. If not, then it doesn't get voted.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm just trying to think of ways to keep our school running
Yeah.
without, I just feel like we're at the nitty gritty now, and now to do this is just detrimental. Sorry. Thank you.
No problem. It's a good question.
Yeah, does school committee have that power? Like, do you have the power right now to not accept this budget, even though the town's saying like to be fiscally responsible and you need to bring it down? But do you have the power to say, you know what, I'm not gonna worry right now about the fiscal responsibility, I'm worried about my school committee responsibility of protecting the school and the children? Like, do you have that power to say, we can't cut this budget anymore and bring it forth to town, or do you have to like?
That's kind of what my
Yeah,
question
that's,
was.
like, I don't understand that, because I thought school committee was best interest of the school and the children, not worrying about town finances, but like worrying about the school, and then let the town worry about town.
Right.
finances, but
But we are a town, like, the school is the town, so like,
It's a part of the town.
we are one unit, exactly. We are one whole unit, I mean, the town of Erving is all departments involved. The school is just the largest department within the
I
town.
understand that, but I'm saying school committee, I thought that you, like, your job was to look for the best interest of the.
It's a balance,
school
it's a
and
balance, so it's a
students.
balance of
So it's
fiscal.
not then, it's like.
If you wanna look to our
worrying about
policies,
what
that's what it
happens.
says. It says we're supposed to do what's in the best interest of the students within our budget. So within our power and within our financial responsibility. These are not easy decisions,
No, I
absolutely,
understand
like,
that.
this
It's
is,
not a
keeps
question.
us all up at night. I mean, this is
No, I
not an easy
understand that.
position to be in.
But I just wanted to know, like, if you wanted to, if you really wanted to fight for the school, could you? Could you go back to town and say, you know what, this school really cannot operate with what we're asking them to do? We understand that students were outsourced from the school, and that's causing us a huge financial burden. But that doesn't mean that we can, you know, dissipate all the things we need to do for these kids. I used to be very proud to work at this school, and now I'm very sad, because it's not even just like every other school. It's starting to fall apart, and that's sad, especially when people are working like their hardest to try to make that not happen, and it's out of our control now. Like, if things go the way they're supposed to go, next year is going to be extremely sad for our early ed students, extremely.
I was also told, and I could be wrong, because I'm just learning all of this alongside you guys, but I was also told that the state will refund us for the sped ed.
That's what we're talking about. This is the funding that
Oh, okay,
we're
sorry.
incorporating. No
Sorry.
worries. It's called circuit breaker, and we do get some refunds back. It's a formula calculation.
It's just not 100%.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but since we're so late in budget season, we can add that in. Normally, we can't because we've done this like in, let's say, January, February, where the numbers don't come out, the estimates. So now we actually have an estimate, so we're able to go ahead and work that into the budget so that we're able to
Gotcha.
have
I
that.
thought that would help, but I guess it doesn't.
Well, it's getting added in, yeah.
Excuse me, so I'm not sure that they did get an answer. Can the school committee still present a budget that is higher than what the select board asked? Do you know for sure if that is the case? Or, I think that's all they really want to know.
Yeah.
Can you do
We
that?
have the authority to vote the budget, correct? Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they
Yeah.
wanted to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think,
Yeah, go for
can I
it.
add on to that?
Absolutely.
I think what's different this year, or with this budget, is that back to a way earlier conversation that, Mark, you had, was that sometimes, you know, the finance committee or the select board may not love the number that we are giving them, and that makes them a little nervous about making the budget work for the whole town. And so they come back and they ask, and we go back and forth, and we do that to try and make everybody happy. what seems to be different this year is that they have come to us and said, it's just, the numbers do not add up. We cannot make it work, putting the budget that you put forward in, when you add in all the other town departments and all the other things that we have to pay for. It's not a, we'd like you to get it a little bit better. It just simply, the math doesn't work. And so that's why we were then, we went back and forth about a dollar amount to cut, and we ended up where we ended up, is simply because we had to make the math work. They have to, Brian explained, they have to have a balanced budget with the state, and we won't be balanced if we try and ask for this amount of money. And we can't continue to, that's the other thing that Scott was mentioning, was even if we could figure out a way, we got the next year and the next year. And so we've got to figure out how to make this viable for years in the future. So it is a little bit different than, them coming and saying, well, we'd rather see it at a 3%, and then we, I don't want to lessen it by saying we do this dance, but we do a little bit of here, okay, how about, and we go back and forth, just like any negotiations, and we get it to somewhere where we feel it's reasonable. This year was very different, and I've been on the school committee for many, many years, and this was a much different budget year. What they had to say and how they presented it, and the amount that they couldn't make the money work for what we were asking. And all departments went back and cut. I'm also on another department, and every single department went back and cut again. And so unfortunately, we're the biggest budget, so the biggest cost comes from us, and therefore the biggest cut came from us. But every department went back and cut.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm on the board and we cut $100,000 out of our budget. But just, you did have the ability to pass as a school committee, pass that other budget that was higher. That would put the school, select board into a situation where they have to decide, do we try for an override? They could have chosen that. I guess I think what these folks are saying is they were hoping for some leadership, and I'm not saying just you, I'm saying select board, whatever, to fund this school. And there is a mechanism for that. Yes, they are trying to keep their budget as it is. Legally, they have to keep it at this budget, but they could ask for an override, and they have chosen not to do that. School committee could choose to vote in a higher budget, even though it's not what the select board asked, and then they would have to make that hard decision as well. So there is the ability to do that. Just so everybody
I guess that was
understands
my question.
So there is the mechanism and ability to do that.
Mark?
I understand it makes
Yeah.
hardships elsewhere.
But a big concern in the future is that if we can't firstly make the right decisions financially and for the school, I'm afraid the state's gonna step in. And when the state steps in, well, because if the select board refuses to do a 2.5 override, if we can't budget
Then
a
they would have to
budget,
cut somewhere else.
well, I understand that.
But
if they
there's really
don't-
nowhere else in the town to cut. We've already.
Or they do an
cut
override,
600,000.
that's where,
Right.
that's what I'm saying, you have the ability to have.
But
leadership.
the other departments have done significant cuts.
I
If you're
know,
looking at,
I know.
if like Scott had said, looking at the different budgets, and they had a higher percentage of cuts than we did. It's not an easy, this is not easy at all.
Right.
Caitlin, go ahead.
Sorry to bring it back to this, but I did find out where that discrepancy is.
Okay.
And the summary was not including the Union 28. We get grants for IDEA that goes towards some of those salaries, and it was not including those. So the $3,533,428 number is correct.
Okay, because, it was $7,500 off, so that made sense, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes from two different places, and Formula was one of them.
It is.
So,
My
yes,
apologies.
line 108.
Glad that-
I appreciate you clarifying that. Thank you.
So, I have a conversation. So I just want to make, there's a lot of folks watching at home, and for them to know that, yes, you do have that ability to do that. It is awkward, and it causes other situations, but you do have the ability to pass that higher budget. The select board has the ability to ask for an override. The town could vote down the override, and then we'd be right back here, but there is that mechanism for it, and I want to make sure everybody understands that. And the state can't just jump in and take over, like, there's a process, so,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And I just want to talk about too, I know you've talked a lot about like, if we, put a Band-Aid on this year, we have to worry about the next few years, right? Because we're gonna keep running into this problem. But you really have to think about what's being cut, and why we're in the position we're in is because we couldn't take care of certain needs at the school because they were so large. If we're going to put that pressure down on our early ed, we're gonna be taking away a lot of services, we're gonna not be getting in a lot of students in early where we can take care of their needs and start to build them up as students to be successful in this school. We're gonna continue to run into that problem, I can guarantee it.
I think it's worth noting that we did not have any
I
say
get that, I
in
get
the
that.
reductions. That's
I
the principal and the
understand that, but that's
superintendent's
what's
job.
gonna happen. Then you're our school committee, you're the only ones who can help us.
Again, sure, and I would advocate for early childhood, and I do advocate for early childhood. I didn't have a say, and I wasn't consulted as to where the cut should go.
That's what's gonna happen, so that's just what, it is what it is. I know you might not have had the same, but that's what's gonna happen. And that's gonna continue to be a problem for the town. It's gonna continue to be a financial problem for the school.
Yep.
We'll be right back here next year, guaranteed.
So, yeah, we had a motion, so you made a motion to accept the
Yeah.
$3,533,478. Do we have a second? A second? We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Oh, sorry.
Yep, sure.
Remember to also include Erving Secondary.
Okay, so we'll vote on this one, so that the Erving Elementary. So we have a motion and a second for the $3,533,478. I don't hear any further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think we did vote on the secondary last time. Do you want us to revote it again?
So I don't know that we had a final vote on the secondary. I remember we voted once, and I'm not sure we've had the final vote for the secondary. Is what, when we looked back minutes.
There are no changes to the secondary,
Yeah.
right?
There have not been
Yeah.
any changes,
So
but
we
we
should
didn't
be
vote on the
all
secondary
set
the
then.
last time we voted either. So we only had I think we only had the preliminary vote on the secondary.
Unless there's a change, I don't think we need to revote it. Our vote is our vote.
Usually we have a preliminary and then
And
a
a
final.
final adoption vote.
Well, I will make a motion to,
I don't have that number.
yes, to go ahead and approve the secondary budget in the amount of $1,477,406.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have both of our budgets done. So we are going to move into executive session. So in accordance with open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21, we're going to move into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation with the intent to return to open meeting. So we roll
Roll
call.
call.
Icorn, aye.
Semi?
Bailey, aye.
Bailey Little Eye.
No, it's not on here.
I know.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
And you need to invite in Caitlin
Okay.
and I
Okay. and-
officially, because we're
okay.
not a committee
Okay.
member.
And I would like to invite the superintendent, Jennifer Colkeen, and the director of finance of operations, Caitlin Sheridan. And we will return when we're finished. Take a brief recess. We are going into the conference room, right? That's available? Conference room? 6:55, we're going to reopen open meeting. And we have two things to discuss. So the first one is the settlement agreement for the Erving Teachers Association and the Erving School Committee. So we need to go ahead and vote on that.
I'll make the motion to accept the settlement agreement for the Erving Teachers Association. I have to say what else.
Second it?
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the agreement has passed. For Unit A, correct. The Unit A agreement has passed. We have an MOA, Erving School Committee and Erving Education Association Unit B, support staff, a possible vote. We have decided that we are going to table this for further discussion, so it will move to a future meeting. Does anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all very much.